Now, for a while now, I haven't been doing any serious discussion videos because, well, I did do a serious discussion video based on the people who hate Kayla Jarrett for accepting the SB award, but this is a completely different video. Now, you know my channel is all about injustice and about conquering injustice, and it's also about equality and getting equality for all. Now, there is a particular mayor who did something that's completely awful, and Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks says what everyone's thinking, and I'll give my commentary on it.
We've got a mayor in a small town in Washington State, Airway Heights. His name is Patrick Rushing. And he has said some questionable things about the president and the first lady. The reason I care about this story is there's a lot of jackasses in the world, and some of them happen to be Republican politicians like this guy. Some are Democratic politicians as well. But his explanation is what drives me crazy. So what did he say? He said, Gorilla Face Michelle can't disagree with that, referring to something they were discussing. That seems pretty offensive. He's going to follow that up with, the woman is not attractive except to Monkey Man Barack. Check out them ears, LOL.
Now, see, stuff like that is very, very, very disgusting. And I commented on the video, the denial of racism is racism 3.0. For Christ's sake, this jackass should not only be removed from office by force, but should be banned from ever running for any political position again. And I have 183 likes and counting.
Okay. Yeah, I know, it's such a LOL after you make wildly racist statements. Now, if you're a young person and you grew up in an area that wasn't at all racist, you might be surprised by all this. Maybe you never heard Black people being compared to monkeys. But it's something that's happened in this country for hundreds of years. It is a very common racial insult. This grown-ass man who's the mayor of that town doesn't know that? Does anybody believe that? Okay, well, let's dive into the story a little more and see what we get out of it. What's his excuse? He says, oh, this was just playful back and forth banter that my friends and I had.
Really, that's playful banter by calling the First Lady and the President racial stereotypes. That's playful banter? No, that isn't playful banter. That's just racism.
We've got a man. Check out them ears, LOL. Okay. If you're a young person and you grew up in an area that wasn't at all racist, you might be surprised by all this. Maybe you never heard Black people being compared to monkeys. But it's something that's happened in this country for hundreds of years. It is a very common racial insult. This grown-ass man who's the mayor of that town doesn't know that? Does anybody believe that? Okay, well, let's dive into the story a little more and see what we get out of it. What's his excuse? He says, oh, this was just playful back and forth banter that my friends and I had. That's so funny. Black people are like monkeys and gorillas. Playful banter. Yeah. Well, it might say something about you if you think that's funny. And you're not a comedian. This isn't, a stand-up routine. This isn't a movie. You're a mayor. And you're like, ha, 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 Black people, gorillas. Ha. Okay, now, but here's the part that gets me. He says, now that he's in a lot of trouble, people are saying that he should be removed from office. He says, I made a mistake. I owned up to my mistake. If I do resign, that's admitting I'm a racist, and I'm not. See, there's a lot of people in this country that think that the only way to be racist is if you go up to a black person and punch them in the face, and then you say, I just punch you in the face because you're black.
And Schenk makes a perfect point. That's a way that people in this country of what racist people's mentality is. That's their way of saying the only way of racism is to physically harm someone who is anybody but white. Racism comes in so many levels. There is physical violence against someone who's black or another minority. Physical violence is a form of racism. There's verbal racism, which is using stereotypes and names against minorities. And then there was the denial of racism. So far, there was 3 levels of racism in America, and shockingly and not surprising, it's climbing up. There's more forms of racism being developed on each level.
Okay, that's the only way to be racist. Everything else is not racist. You can call them gorillas, you can call them monkeys, you can any insult you want. I don't know. I'm not racist. What do you mean? I just think black people are like monkeys and not like human beings. What's the racist part? I don't get it. Right? I believe he genuinely thinks that. That's the amazing part. Okay. Let's see if that's true. Maybe he just said it this one time and we're being unfair because of the one joke. Well, so the Spokesman Review in Washington did a little investigation to his other posts, and they found that what it said was there were at least 75 posts and reposts, including an image that suggests both the president and his wife should hang for treason.
Now, the thing that really bothers Schenk about this situation, and myself as well, is the fact that this guy denying that he's racist is the fact that he's also saying horrible shit. Horrible shit. And he's not owning up to his mistake. And saying that the president and his wife should be hung for treason, that crosses the line. He could say the president committed treason and should be in prison. Fine, that's his opinion. But saying that the president and his wife should be hung, now that's an indirect threat to the president and is a federal felony.
Now, hanging black people in this country, no, probably nothing there either. All those posts over and over again, they're treasonous. They should hang. They're monkeys. Am I seeing a pattern here? And if you're not clear that how much hate this guy has, it's not just directed at black people. A number of Rushing's online posts also attack Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, gays, and immigrants. But I'm sure he's not against gays either. He's not against immigrants either. He's not racist. He's not bigoted. He just hates all those people and thinks they should be hung. But what do you mean? I'm not a racist. Look, this is something we talk about on the Young Turks all the time. It is a fascinating matter of perspective. So this guy doesn't even get how incredibly racist that sounds to black people. Like, he's like, what? I didn't know that. Well, then what we're asking you to do, at a bare minimum, I don't know that this guy is salvageable. I mean, he's a grown man. He's been around a long time. His ideas are probably fairly entrenched, right? But for anyone who does not have entrenched ideas, we're asking you to consider the other perspective. How would you like it if somebody says you should hang from a tree, or that you're below a human being and that you should be treated as such? Can I ask you to consider that and go, oh, right, I might not like that. Is that too much to ask? In this case, for this guy, the jury's in. Again, get him out of office. There's black people in that town. They're like, well, I don't know if he's going to treat me right. I don't know if he's going to treat me the same as white people now. They got excellent reason to doubt that. And we can't have that. We can't have people being treated differently by a political representative of them. You think he's really representing the minorities in his town as their representative? I certainly don't think so.
Now, I want the rest of the video to play out because that's what I do all the time. Whenever I see one of my friends post a racial comment or a racial picture and so forth, I do the same thing which Sheng suggests, like asking people to view it from the opposite perspective. How would you like it if you were told you should be hung from a tree and etc.? And so anyway, I always get the responses, but I'm not being racist, it's my blah, 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 opinion. Now someone who commented on my page also linked me to, well, linked others as well, to 75 plus more questionable posts by Airway Heights Mayor Patrick Rushing. Now let's look at them. Now he shared Right-Wing News's picture. Define racism. One who disagrees with Obama, correct? No, that's not racism. You even have, there's a difference between disagreeing and racism. Now, what he said about the president and his wife, that they should be hung from trees, that's racism. But you could disagree with the president all you want. That's not racism. That's just disagreeing. Murdered for a few bucks, rest in peace, my friend. Survival, Battle of Okinawa, bloodiest battle of the Pacific War, wounded in combat, Purple Heart Medal, World War II veteran Dilbert Shorty, murdered, beaten to death by 2 black teens in a random attack, August 21st, 2013. Who knows? That could be true. That could be a doctored picture. I don't know. Yeah, that's a questionable post right there. I did a video about exactly that picture. 2 young men wanted in vicious random attack. So where's Al Sharpton? That's right. This victim is white and the suspects are black. This happens. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I can see why that's questionable because he's automatically assuming right away the suspects are black. The suspects could be white for all we know. They're not racist, actually. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson speak about the struggles that black people suffer every day. They're activists. That moment when the racist has made racist songs, political correctness must die, threatens to leave America because of racism. I'll buy the one-way ticket if he promises to never. Look, I'm not a fan of Kanye West, but saying that Kanye West should leave America because he's black, yeah, that's racist. America would never elected a white, inexperienced community organizer, so this makes absolutely no sense. If Obama were white, actually that posting did make sense, because if Obama was white, his citizenship wouldn't have been questioned, his religion wouldn't have been questioned. The reason why conservatives don't like Obama is, well, most of them, you legitimately have the few of conservatives who disagree with his policies but don't have a problem with him being president. But the conservatives that do have a problem with him being a president, and some of the Democrats, they don't like him because he's black, period. And if Obama were white, they would have no problem with him. It's plain and simple. Sheriff Ozzy, whatever, you need to read this and follow his leadership. We don't need a $2 million jail. We need a 10-city. Let's stop coddling criminals and treat them as such. there's white people in the picture. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you're a criminal, and if you're in prison for a bad crime, you're a criminal. But if you're in prison for pot or something like that, you really aren't a criminal. Barack Obama in the United States of America. We've come to expect this from the president. He's a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. I know the liberals will have a fit over this one. Are you a fucking moron? He is not a part of the Muslim Brotherhood. He is a Christian. He is a smart Christian. He says Christians should take responsibility for all the horrible shit they done in the past. That is not somebody who's a part of the Muslim Brotherhood. Oh, okay. Oh, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. That is disgusting. So you could see that this guy is a fucking racist. He is a despicable human being and should be fucking thrown out of office and be banned from ever running a political for a political office again. This man is a disgusting individual. See you guys.